Okay, so what I want to do here is show the different falls and the actual use of each different fall, and then apply them to certain situations where you can use them in technique. So we're just looking here at just the basic mechanics of each individual fall, explain how they're done so you can practice them on your own, at your own pace, and you can do them nice and slow and nice and easy. They're designed in a progression that you can build up to a high level of taking the falls. So the first aspect that we'll cover here is just the basic mechanics. We'll go through the front roll, the back roll, the Yoko Kaiten versions, the Shiro Yoko Kaiten versions, and the Otoshi versions. And I'll show them each one in their step-by-step development, so it should be easy to follow. Okay? So we look at each individual fall, and then I'll show exactly how each one is done, and then certain exercises which you can use to practice developing a sensitivity to each fall so you can use them in technique. Okay, so their use is very important. So if you know how to manage the body so that you can go into the falls naturally. So we have certain exercises with each fall which we can do so you can practice their actual use. After we've learned how to do them step by step mechanically first, each individual fall, then we want to know how to make good use of them. Okay? So, and also we can look at the methods of practice. So, methods of practicing these particular falls within technique, so you get used to using them in a situation of technique. And then, over time, it should become a natural thing, not something that's, mechanical. Okay, we'll learn it mechanical first, and then slowly we want to get away from something that's mechanical, so it becomes just a natural part of your practice, a natural part of your movement. Okay, so the importance of learning these falls is crucial. Go through each one, study each one, and work through at your own pace and at your own time. Okay, learn them correctly and learn them, like I said, at your own pace, and then slowly start to use them in your everyday practice, but use them in a way so they become, natural. So the partner exercises which I've done, as I've said, are used for that purpose. Okay. And also it will help you to be more sensitive to your balance. These exercises will give you an idea of how to move your body in the correct manner so you don't injure yourself. Because obviously, there's corners on the body. You don't want to land on any of those corners. You don't want to land on your head. You don't want to land on the back of your spine here. It's important that you keep the rolls round and small and do them in a compact manner. Okay? The body must be relaxed. Try not to do them, try not to be tense when you do the falls. And like I said, just do them at your own pace and at your own rate. Remembering that, like I've said many times, 50% of your practice is falling. So pay a lot of attention to your Ukemi, just as much as you would do to your everyday technique, because it's all part of the same thing, and eventually it should all come together. So what you use in your Aikido practice, you also take with you in your Ukemi practice. So to me they both go together. So we're going to look at certain ways of practice so we can feel these all these points within your Ukemi, not just in your Aikido practice. We're trying to put them all together so it becomes an integral thing rather than something that's separate. My kaiten. Okay, so we'll do this for the front roll again. Take the whole thing, position all the way down to the mat. Now I'm going to show the hand, it's turned like so. Put the hand down, and then the other one next to it. Put a little bit of weight on that hand, so you keep yourself facing forward, and it allows you to lower yourself down. And then from here, you're just going to tip over, and finish as if you're facing forward with your ankles underneath, okay, and toes bent. So you're actually up on your toes when you finish, like so. Okay, just the basic structure again. Hand down, like so. Keep the head tucked in, as if you're going to look forward, but as you go around, just keep the head so it rolls back inside. Don't put it on the outside like so. Across the arm, reverse hip, down the other thigh. And then like so. Then once you got the feeling of that, you want to do that so you're facing back where you came from. Right? So again, Hand goes down, same position. You go forward, and as you do so, turn so you're in a crouch position almost. Then you stand up. One more time. Hand down, like so. Crouch position, and you stand up. When you finish, you should be in hand meet. You shouldn't have your feet all spread out. You should be on balance, standing up when you finish. Yeah, a lot of people teach with the hands around like so, which is fine because the movement should be round. But after a while, once you get used to the fall, you want it to happen in a much more natural way. So I tend not to say, don't put the hand in any particular place. Just make sure it stays in a relaxed position and round. So when you take the fall, the whole thing then becomes very natural when you do it. Okay? Very natural. Okay? Okay, again, let's look at the toes when we do the front roll. I tend to want to keep the toes in a live position so they're up like so rather than being flat all the way down. Okay? It allows you to get up in a more natural way. It's very difficult to get up with your foot like so unless you're being propelled forward so your weight brings you on your front foot. But when you do the front roll, we're trying to get so you turn back into the position that you came from. So as you do the roll and you turn around, you're keeping the toes live so you can naturally stand up rather than come up on the back of your foot. So it's much easier that way just to regain your balance. So we're going down. As we go over and we turn around, your feet are in the right position facing where you came from. Okay, now sometimes we're not caught in the roll in the right position, like the right hand, left hand forward, left foot forward, which is the natural fall. You're going like rolling into it. Sometimes you're caught opposite, whether it be, like so, and you have to roll on the other side, or left foot, and right foot and left hand. So you treat it in the same position. So this gets into the habit, kind of like a cat. When you drop him, you always want to land on his feet. So it gets you to the feeling that when you do your roll, you always want to get the body to land in the correct position. So I'll go over backwards and still end up like I've done a regular front roll and still end up in the correct position rather than land with my feet crossed. Okay? So that's very important. So if a good exercise to practice is this, where you, like so, opposite side, put the other hand down, rolling again, as if you're doing a regular front roll like we did before, keeping the arm round, but landing with the front foot, making it become your back leg so it gets tucked under. Like so, and then turn around. What I'll do now is just go through what we did first. We did the regular front roll, my Ukemi, and I'm just going to show just basic leading exercise so Uke can learn how to walk and step into the fall naturally so they can do the front rolls. Okay? So first of all, right, so this we just need a partner for this one. And what we're going to do is just like a Tai no Henko exercise, which you do at the beginning, and then Uke is going to lead Uke forward and just naturally bring them down so they're into the front roll position so they can take the fall. And then they should turn around and face. Okay? Notice I don't want them to run into the fall or to throw themselves. Just naturally follow the lead down to the ground, okay, as I put them down, and then allow themselves to just tip over into the fall. Okay, let's demonstrate a few more times. Using Tai no Henko as the lead, and down, and forward. Okay. Down. Notice as I lead down, Uke must bring themselves down to the mat. So they let their legs bend, touch, and then allow themselves to roll over. Okay. You can also do the same thing as if you're doing Uchi Kaiten. So then they step, and then into the front roll. Again, I'm not focusing on trying to throw them. It's their practice to follow the lead naturally as they fall off balance into the fall. Generally speaking, if the hand is free, if I've got a hold of this hand, you're going to want to take your roll with the hand that's free, not on the side that they're holding. So if I'm standing like this, like this, and Uke doesn't move, and they're in a position like that, then the body, because they're not following, they feel like the body wants to go on the wrong side. So you always want to end up on the lead side. So if I have Uke here and I'm leading their balance, you always want to step. So then you naturally fall on the free hand side. Okay? Now sometimes your body's being thrown the other way, where the Uke is going, Nage as they're throwing is throwing inside. So then it's very difficult to roll on the other hand. So in those instances, you roll on the same side. So if I'm leaning like so, and I put Uke down, this position say, then you fall on the same side, not on the opposite side, because that's going across yourself as you're trying to take the fall. Rishiro Kaiten. Okay, now we'll do Shiro Kaiten, which is the regular back roll. Now, personally, I just think of it as the front roll, just reverse, and practice it in that same manner. Okay, so we're going to do the reverse of the front roll. Reverse hip, cross the body, shoulder, back down to the arm. Again, remembering to protect the head and back of the spine. So you tuck everything under, put the hands down, sit back, and your hand should finish in the same position, then up. Okay? So again, starting, live toes, sitting down like so, hand down in front, the other one next to it. Back, finish into the front roll, then you can stand up. Again, body should be in handling, not a wide stance, should be in the same line. Okay. Then once you get used to that and you're doing that, the basic movement, then we start from standing. Sit down into it, so you're going to go into the same position. Sit down, kneel down, so the whole body goes down to the mat. Now, don't do the roll like that and just sit straight back without touching the knee. Okay? So as you go back, sit down, tuck everything under, and then stand up. Okay? Yeah. Again, you sit down, tuck, and then stand up. Okay, now once you've got the hang of that, then you just do the whole thing in, again, like before with the front roll, in a relaxed manner rather than in a set form. So you just sit back, just as if you're going to walk back. You sit, and then stand up. Okay? Again, keep everything in front of you. Shoulders must stay relaxed, and allow the head to bend. Don't throw your head back. We're trying to make the roll small. Okay, back, and stand up. Now, the major thing with the back roll is that people tend to want to go over their head, as if they're doing a gamble, like so, going over. Okay? Remember, you want to keep the head away from the mat, so you don't want your head to hit the mat at all. So, just like a front roll, the whole thing is turned sideways. It's not like you're doing a gamble straight forward. As your body approaches the mat, it turns. So, when we do the back roll, it's the same thing. We keep everything to that same angle. Don't allow your back to go back square. Okay? So, as you sit, you keep the angle. So, as you go back, the head stays well away from the mat, and you don't have to worry about hitting your head. Okay? And the same safety aspects as the front roll. You know, you're not hitting the back of the spine like so, and you're not hitting the back of the neck or any corners as you do the roll. Mai Yoko Kaiten. Okay, now the next fall we do is, again, it's a variation of the front roll, a front fall or front roll, but it's going to turn on its axis, so you turn back and come back the direction you face. So this fall we use for a much harder fall when you're being projected more forward rather than a front roll. Okay? So again, I'll demonstrate it a few times so you can actually see. Okay? So you notice that you try to keep the fall so it's round. It doesn't clash and it doesn't hit. So again, it starts as if you're doing a front roll, just as it goes over, it's turning on itself to come back the other way, just to keep the continuity. Okay? If someone's throwing you hard and throwing you into the mat, sometimes it's hard to do a front roll because they're still holding on to you. So if they're still holding on to you, just allow everything to open up, and as they let go, as you hit the mat, you can continue to do the roll, but turns on itself and comes back without actually hitting the mat, you know, too hard. Okay, so again, let me do this roll very slowly for you so you can see again the feet position. To this side, turned in so it's bent. Not straight so you don't hit the heel like so. Bent. Keep the hips loose. Roll up off the one side, that hand. Legs a little bent. Down. Swing all the way around to the direction that you face in. Okay. Okay, again, let me show it once more. Okay. and then turn around. Okay? So it's very important to keep the hips loose. Don't tighten the legs, and don't tighten the trunk of the body. Let it bend. Okay? And again, the roll starts on the mat. Don't jump into it. Just unbalance yourself. So keep the one foot on the mat, and as you go forward, pick up the other leg. So you're keeping the one leg on the mat as you go over. There's always contact with the ground. Okay? We don't want to do the fall as if you're leaping into it. So both feet don't leave the mat at the same time. Okay? So you don't get in the position like you're doing this. Jumping into it. That means you're throwing yourself into the fall. Okay? So we do this so you keep the one foot down, and as you go down, you tip. Tip. Okay? Until this leg almost goes past your head. And then round. So your body just goes over naturally. Just turning, just like a ball. Okay? And then turn around. Now we'll do, again, some exercises to put that one into practice. I'm just going to go 1, put him down, and hold him in that position. So he gets used to the feeling, oh, okay, he's a position where he's being held and then released as he ends, so he gets up and turns around. Okay, okay, so we go 1, just turn around and down. Then he gets up and turns around. Then all we do then is just increase the velocity of that so he gets used to doing the same fall, going forward, and turning at the same time. Down, and then turning around. And I use this particular one because I'm also going down with them to the mat, so that way I can follow them down so they've got something easy to follow as I go down into the mat. And turn around. Okay, the second method we can use is where I'm actually sitting, so the whole movement then is up to Uke. All I'm doing now is just putting his arms straight down in front of him, and he's allowing, the same time he feels any kind of movement from this part of his body, the foot is reacting to it, rather than bending over like that. Okay? So as the hand goes down, he just allows himself to tip over and go into the fall. Okay? So remember, as I'm bringing the arm down now, all that is being transferred to his foot, so he's just allowing himself to tip over, down, and then into front Ukemi. Okay, we'll just do that once more. As he bends, leg goes down, tips over, front Ukemi. Okay. Now the other exercise to do is to try to eliminate jumping, get the person out of the feeling of trying to throw themselves all the time before they, if you've been taken off balance, you will naturally go into your fall anyway. So there's no need to add to the movement. The technique's being done correctly, it will take your balance naturally. So the fall will make itself. And it's to get out of the habit of assuming or anticipating where you're going to be, so you're prepared to propel yourself into the throw. And this exercise we do just to tip over Uke. So now I've created a little bit of height. So Uke is slightly raised off the ground. Right? So generally speaking, when you say to someone to roll over or to fall over, what they do is do the fall at the same height, rather than realize that there's gravity and the ground is down there. So rather than doing something like this and going over like that and hearing that noise, I try to create the movement where they don't throw themselves. Right? So what we do is I put the hand, again, like the front roll we did before, support, and I turn the other hand in the opposite way so it can naturally fold around Uke's body. So I can do it at my own rate. As I lean forward, the foot comes up again, just like before. And then I'm going to allow my body just to slide round. Then it tip itself over. Like so. Okay. Do that once more. Support. Just tip. Tip myself over. Okay, so you want to be... So what's important as they go over, this hand is like so. So take that one. So as he goes over, he's allowing that to naturally bend, look, so it folds around Uke's body. Okay? That way, as he goes over, he can use that as a little bit of support as he goes over. This hand he uses to support his weight. Okay? And as you go over, go over. Right? And I try to make practice it slowly, not fast, so they can do it at their own rate. Once again. Hand turned, put the other one on top to support. Put the weight on there, lower yourself down, let the body slide round and over. Okay, one more time. Okay. Also, just to make sure to check that the hand's in the right position, this time once you go over and just stay as you are, keep the hand there. So as they go over, just to check, you can see that the arms folded around the body. So that's how they naturally support themselves as they go over, so they don't hit the mat. They just let the fall take them over as if they're lying flat, and then as they do that, the hand comes off, they sit up and turn around. Mishiro Yoko Kaiten. Okay, so now the next fall we'll do is Ushiro Yoko Kaiten. It's just the same as the fall that we just did, but going backwards. Again, do this in a way that so you can practice very slowly. Okay, like this very similar starts very similar to the back roll. So again, I want you to kneel down as you go down completely, all the way down to the mat. Again, it's a side fall, so you're going to put the hand down next to you, like so, as if you're going to roll over it. Okay. Again, going down with the live toes. So you go down, put the other hand next to you. Keep the body at that same angle. Don't make it go back over your foot like so. Again, trying to go down on your thigh, the other hand next to you. Turn the other hand, it's almost like you would do in the front or back roll. The hand position like so, but in a relaxed manner, because it's going to follow this leg over as you go back. So you're going to go one, over, and turn around. So same as what we just did earlier on, only going backwards. Starting in the crouch position again, hand down like so. Just keep the other one next to you. Again, remembering to keep the head away from the mat, back of the spine. Keep that same angle. Just like a ball. Make it small. And then turn around. Okay, when you've done that a few times, then you want to do that again from a standing position, like you're being thrown. So we do this, we stretch into it a little bit. So you allow your body to fall back and lose its own balance. Again, not throwing yourself back or jumping or anything like that. So we just stretch a little bit with the back. Then as you do that, you take a step back and then put that hand down. So we like so, down, take that step back, put the hand down, and then end up in the same position and turn around. Okay, stretch. As you do that, let the head look a little bit to that side, the side you wish to go back on. So as you go back, keep the arms again relaxed. As you go back, down, turn, and then back to where you faced. Then again, once you got the hang of that, you do that in a continuous motion. So the body's like so, and then around as it goes back. Stretch. Okay. Do another one. Allow the body to bend back. And turn around. Again, when you go back, we go down live toes. So it allows you to keep contact with the mat, rather than pick your foot up and allow gravity to pull you off balance. Then you're not controlling your own body as you fall back then. So as you slide back, make sure the foot follows you and you go back with your toes in a live position. So you're actually supporting yourself down like so as you go back. Okay, now just show a couple of variations on that you can use to change. One variant is that if you're allowed just to sit back into the fall, that's fine. But sometimes you'll get somebody throwing and they'll put their leg in between, so it's very hard to slide back, so you can't get past their leg. Okay, so we do a fall, which is exactly the same, but we just skip back a little bit. So again, it's in the stretch position, and then you're going to allow your body to sort of skip back so it can pull itself out the way. So I'm in this position like so, skip back. And then at the same time, you slap out. Okay? So now we're just using the hands to absorb a little bit of the impact on the mat. But this fall mechanically is exactly the same as before. Okay, let me just show you once more. Body's in the stretch position. Going back, skip. And then back. And again, turn around. But you can also do the same fall where it continues over. Again, just a style different, just depends which one you prefer. So again, it starts with the stretch. skip back. Then everything tucks under and continues to turn over. Okay? So you can use that variation. Okay? And then turn over. Okay, so again, you end up like you've just done a front roll, but it's going into the Ushiro Yoko Kaiten variation. And then over. Now, again, certain exercises we can use to practice that for. And you please. Okay, one that's I like to use is where you actually support uke. So again, these exercises so you're aware of your own balance, not so much that you're throwing yourself. You know the fall you're going to practice, so this way you're trying to be sensitive to your own balance. So feeling like when you're being thrown, someone's taking your balance, you're following it until its end. Okay, so all I'm doing is supporting her weight like so. Then I feel for her balance when it goes a little bit past, then release. Okay, so all I'm doing is, again, like I said, support the weight, then lean back, feel a little bit of weight, release, and back. Okay, notice, like you do when naturally, if someone's leading you, the feet doesn't stay in the same place. Someone's leading you, you want to follow. Okay? So as you're losing your balance, you're trying to walk back with it to catch it up, and then allow it to gently take itself down to the mat. Okay, not just flop down and crash. Okay. Once more. Next exercise we can do as if we're actually doing a technique. So they're on their own at that point. So now we can use this technique just to, what we do is stretch, okay, so they're in position like so. So they get used to the stretch, and then just gently take them forward, and they follow it and sit down into the fall. Okay, so I just put them into the stretch, hold them there, and then I move with them so they can feel that they should be moving forward at the same time. So they're following their own balance down. Okay, I'm not making it awkward for UK at the time. Just gently holding there, then go forward and down. Okay, another exercise that we can use for that, when you're being thrown back very fast, it's hard to not want to move your feet to catch up. So let me use. Okay. So in this one, Uke is going to be standing with their feet together. Before, everything was up to him. I was supporting the weight and then letting it go and then allowing them to fall back, then into the stretch and then gently take them into the fall. Now I'm going to give them a little bit of propulsion. So now I'm going to push Uke back, not too hard, enough so they can feel that they're being forced back. And their feet must follow them again, so they go back, follow the movement down into a back fall. So all I'm doing is just making like so. It's a little, so now it's a little firmer. Now they can practice slapping out with the fall at the same time. Okay, again. Once more. Okay. Notice they keep the shoulders relaxed. So as they push, they don't let the body, like, use me for example. As they push, a lot of people when they go, naturally that's what should happen. What people do is do that. Okay, and think, okay, I've got to fall down like so. Instead of natural position, that's my feet, this is being arched back, so I'm going to allow myself to fall back. So as he pushes it, I can go back into the fall. So I'm just following that momentum back. So again, it's very important to keep the shoulders relaxed, not tight. Allow the body to bend as it's being pushed. As the shoulders go past your center, you'll start losing your balance. So that's natural. So as that happens, follow it back and then into the back fall. And again, you can use as much as they get better, then you can be a little bit more forceful with the push. Okay? Ushiro mai yoko kaiten. Okay, now we'll demonstrate the next four. Earlier we did mai yoko kaiten going forward. Okay, the side fall going forward. Okay, that. Okay, now if you're in a position where you're caught backwards, like so, and still need to get into the same fall. Okay, so we practice that position also. So, Ushiro mai yoko kaiten starts from the same position. Okay, so we're stretching back. Okay, so you want that same feeling. Now, like I said earlier, you want to have contact with the mat all the time. So as I stretch back and turn to the side that I want, that opposite foot leaves the mat. But at the same time, keep the other one there. Don't jump into it. So you just lift it, again, as if it's going to go over, so it unbalances your body. Okay, let me just show this, the falls, a couple of the falls first. Like so. And around. I'll show that again, same position. Stretch. And then round. Okay, now we practice that fall because a lot of the times when you're in this position, you don't have time when someone's throwing you to take a step and to roll. So you've got to be falling once you're in that position. No time to step because they're throwing you down before you take that step to turn around and make your roll, which I'll demonstrate a little later on with technique. But for now, as you go back, put the hand down again in a relaxed position. Don't try and look for the mat in any particular way. Just keep your arms by your side. Okay, as you go back, lower. Just let yourself lower down, and then you'll go into the fall nice and comfortably. Down. And then turn. Okay, demonstrate from here. Okay. And down. Notice as I go back, all I do is change the angle of my shoulders to the side that I want to go. I don't let my head stick out when I look around and go forward. Okay? Just keep everything in position, relax, and turn around. This one is a little bit more difficult because of the aspect of falling backwards and not wanting to look. So again, safety aspects with this one. Other people, when they go back, they do and put their hand down like that because they're afraid to turn around. So they get in this position. And that's very dangerous because you might, could dislocate your elbow very easily, and you don't want to let all your weight come down like so. Okay? So you need to be able to pivot as you go around. So think about this foot turning around like you, almost like you want to do a front roll, which I'll do next. But for now, we're doing yoko kaiten. So as you're going back, allow the body to twist so the shoulder goes forward. But as you do so, you're looking for the mat with your hand. So make sure your hand reaches down, but not behind you in this manner, straight. Just keep it by the side of your body, because it will follow. Okay? It's attached to your shoulders, so when your shoulders move, your hand will follow naturally. There's no need to do that and look for the mat behind you. So as you're here, just let everything go down. And again, it's in a natural position. It's just right beside your body as you fall. Okay? Once again, like so. Leave it by your side. As your shoulder turns, pick the other foot up, allow the body to turn, but don't reach your head and look back. You can look down directly next to you if you wish. That might help you to make sure your shoulder moves. Remember, don't look for the mat behind you like this. Just put your hand down naturally where your shoulder goes. And turn around. Now, show some exercises again for that so you can practice that same movement. Hey, Neely, please. Again, like the last one we just did, remember when I held Uke's belt? You can practice this also from the same thing. So again, supporting Uke, then they're picking the side. Whichever side is going to go, they're just going to turn. And as they start to turn, the opposite foot is going to match with it and come up so they can make the front fall. Okay. Okay, so again, at your own pace. No need to go fast. At your own pace. Once again, this way. Okay, one more time, let's go straight. Okay, so what we're doing now, like I said before, is that Uke is trying to be aware of their own balance, sensitive to when it's going, when they're losing it. And then when they, oops, see, wants to follow, that I'm holding on to, so following, they don't know, then you release, let their balance go, and then they fall. Okay, so it's important to practice these as often as you can, so you get used to the position that you're in. Okay, so that's one method we use. Other one, so to get used to turning, similar to the one we did before, only they're going to be walking into it. Okay, so it's now Uke's walking past me this time. Remember, they can't turn around to look. So as they're walking past, all I do is take hold of the other arm. They try to keep walking. So just continue as if they're going to keep walking past me. Right? Okay. Comes towards me as if they're going to keep walking past. Okay. Now while their feet are doing that, all I do is take the other hand and straight down. Then they have to follow that instinctively down into the roll. But their attitude still wants to go the way they naturally were going in the first place. And then allowing the body to turn. So as they walk past, down, and around. Notice, no time to step, because your weight's on that leg. So you take up the opposite leg and turn around. Okay, just follow it around. There's the one going past the front of me here. That way. There's the one going the other way. Okay, one more time. Okay, so it's very hard to walk forward. Keep going again. If you're being taken off this way with your weight like this and then want to move this leg, your weight's on that leg, so there's no way to move it. So as that's happening, you just let everything turn around into the falls. Number third method we can use, which is more realistic, is the fact that you're doing now technique in a position where they're coming towards me and I want to turn them around like so. Okay? The body is turning, so I just towards me, put them down. Okay? Again. Okay, yoko kaiten. So as they're going back, they're going to turn and do front fold. Again, like before, earlier on, I held the arm, so they get used to going down and landing at that position without the clash. Everything goes around smoothly. Okay? So I take the whole thing to the mat. I'm not trying to propel her out or anything like that. It's for her practice. So all I'm doing is taking the whole movement to the mat, down, round, they turn around and follow. Okay, that again. And when I do this, I try to hold onto the arm as long as possible, so they're actually into the fall. Okay. And then release. Let's do one from here. Okay. And then release. And one from this way. And then release. Okay, next. Ushiro Mai Kaiten. Okay, so the next thing we're going to do is Ushiro Mai Kaiten. The regular front roll, only starting in another position. So we're starting from backwards this time. Going like so, rather than the front roll. Because I believe it's important to be able to find the roll, whichever position you're in, whether it be forward, whether you're going backwards. So we use that same exercise as if you've been thrown backwards or your hips are stuck or you've been projected where you have to turn. So again, same position. Again, I'll show a few first. And we turn that into a front roll. Notice, crouch position, nice and low, coming up in handling. Okay. Back. And roll. Okay. Now, when you do this, use your hands. It's very important with any fall that you use your hands. Don't be afraid to use your hands. You don't want them to be stiff in front of you. Okay. So don't be afraid to make contact with the mat. It's your friend, and you're going to be falling on it, so you've got to get used to, absorbing it all the time and keep in contact with it. Okay. So as you go down, again, remember, like with the Yoko Kaiten, is to keep the shoulders relaxed, so you just turn into it naturally. As you go up, leg comes up, then turn it into a front roll, and then back. Again, finish with live toes when you finish the crouch, so that when you turn around, you can stand up naturally. You can use almost the same method as we did before. Okay. I like using this one because they get used to be their own balance. So again, it's like, okay, feel, and turn. Remember to use your hands, it's important. Don't try to not roll without using your hands. The idea of the roll at the end of the movement is to slow yourself down, not to go faster. Okay, so you're trying to dissipate the power of the technique. Yeah? And around. Then you stand up. Okay, one more time. And stand up. Okay, so like we did with the others, it's the same method. You just practice each individual fall as you go through. Okay. And again, I can use, again, the sumio-tashi, or the projection we did earlier, taking it down to the mat, but this time I let go earlier, so as he goes down, his body is by itself, so I can just do the roll. So again, taking him down in the same position, and then allow him just to finish off into the roll. Okay. Again, I'm catching him, so he's coming forward, and I have to turn like so. So his body keeps walking and has to pivot. Okay. So as he comes towards me, down, then let go so he can do his roll. Okay. Towards me, down, and do his roll. Okay. You can also use the other method that we did earlier. Okay, again, as he's walking by, down, and to do a front roll. Okay. Hold. And front roll. Remember to keep everything nice and small and round. Don't try to get up immediately. Turn, crouch position, and then gradually stand up at the end. Shiro-tashi. Okay, now the next fall we'll look at is Ushiro-tashi. That's the fall where you need to be able to keep the body going while it's being thrown backwards at the same time. Now I've split these up into three basic variations, depending on your capability or your physicality and your suppleness. So, you know, it doesn't matter what stage you're at, you should be able to do one of these falls. Obviously you want to, if you can, progress to the higher level one, but if not, it doesn't really matter. So long as you're capable of doing one of these falls, then you're perfectly safe. Okay, so I'll go through the easiest one first. Now we've done a similar kind of fall already with the Yoko Kaiten, only this time we're going to start as if you're walking forward. So in a position where you're walking forward and something's coming directly to your face and you need to get it out the way. Okay, so it starts, like I said, walking forward, and then you're going to slide the body through. So let me do it slowly first. So walking forward, body stretches, turns and faces where it came from. Okay, walking forward, but as I do that, arch the back as you go forward, so you get the feeling of the fact that something's coming towards your face. Okay, and as you're doing that, you're taking the step, turn the hip a little bit, but keep the head that way. Don't turn it around, because you want to see what's coming towards you. Don't turn your face away from it, because it will still hit you. So you want to be able to see where it's coming. Okay, as you go back, tuck, leg slides under, and then round. Okay, coming towards you. As you go forward, stretch. Let the body slide through at an angle. One. And again, finish up where you came from. Again, I'll show these in an actual working situation so you can see them much clearly a little bit later with a partner. Okay? It's very important. It's just the same fall. Keep very relaxed. It's very important that you arch your back a little bit. But if you're not too supple in the back, it's not like you have to go too far, because you can slide the leg through and use your legs to support yourself. Okay, I'll just demonstrate one more. Forward. Imagine something's coming towards your face. Okay, back. And turn. Next variation of the same fall needs a little bit more suppleness in the back, I guess, and a little more strength in the legs. But again, it's not the question of, it's just allowing yourself to absorb the movement as you go forward. First I'll do in a static position. Again, think of a roll. So if your body is like so, you know, lying flat, and then you think that you need the body to roll, if you keep your hands in this position, and think that you're just rolling across the body, like so, round movement. Okay, that kind of feeling. Okay, so now we're going to do that in a legs are more or less sort of body width apart. Then you're going to arch back and lower yourself down, like so, keeping the hips off the mat. And then turn. As you turn, again, I'm coming up in hand, facing the direction that I came from. Okay, so my body's traveling this way, I want to face that way. So I go one, and turn around. Just pull that other leg up. Okay, let me just show again, from this angle, going across. Stretch. Again, as I go back, turn. Put the hand down again, not rigid. Just put it down next to you. Keep it soft and just roll across your arms and your shoulders. Looking where you came from. Okay? Then when you get the feeling of that, we do that in motion as if you're walking forward. Okay? So that happens like so. Again, coming back where I came from. Okay, I'll do that once more. Walking forward. Again, imagine something's coming towards your face. Again, we'll do these with a partner so you can see them working a little more clearer later. Okay, so walking forward. Now as you step, the foot that the side you want to go on, keep that there. Let the other leg slide forward. As it slides forward, allow the body to turn. The hip just goes through like so. Put the hand down at the same time. Turn and face where you came from. Okay, once more. Body's moving forward. Slides. Down, face where you came from. Okay, now the next one is a little bit more spectacular, I guess, because this is the same fall, but this time you're allowing your feet to actually be in the air, but using the same idea with the last two. So those who are a little bit more nimble and more able to want to try and do this, they can practice it. But first of all, go through the other two first so they get comfortable with doing that kind of movement. Then with time, you'll find that you naturally go through and then allow your feet to go up in the air. Okay, so again, the same feeling as if somebody's coming towards you and you need to get through. So I'll just demonstrate them a few times first. And make sure I have some room here. So as you're going forward, thinking going back. And just allow the feet as if they want to keep running up in the air. As I do so, the body's going to go up and turn, just like I did with the last one. Find the mat and roll across my shoulders. By the time I turn around, your feet should be coming down. So let me try and do one first so you can see. One, up, and turn around. Again, round. The body doesn't clash when it hits the ground. Okay? You've got to be able to turn the hips. Find where your body is, turn your hips, tuck the closest leg that you're turning on, so it almost ends like you're going to do a front roll. Same tucking position, almost. Okay? Again. And turn. Okay? I'll try and do it again, just sort of hang in the air a little bit. You need to do it so there's a little bit of height. Don't do it so it's low to the ground. As you go back, the body turns and reaches for the mat. As soon as you feel the mat, start the body rotating. Don't wait for your feet to come down on the ground. Okay, let me just show again. The same thing. Okay. Try facing so you can see the body actually turning as I go over. Okay? Okay, now let's look at Ushiro Otashi. Remember earlier I did 3 variations of the same fall. Okay, so the easiest one, or the most basic one, is where you're just going forward and you support yourself and slide through. Take the stretch, and body goes through like so. Okay? Body's going forward again, just to show. Stretching. And then slides through. Okay, again, partner practice exercises to use that, to practice that. Okay. Let me do the first one. Okay, all you do is have Uke standing in front of you like so with the arm out. Okay, and it's like I'm just walking into the arm like so. Okay, and back. Right, now I'll show that first variation, or that first basic fall with a partner. Okay, with this one, just going to hold the arm out, and I'm going to walk forward as if, okay, coming directly to my face. Okay, again, like I said before, you're going to keep walking as that's there. I'm going to stretch, turn, and reach out to mat. Making sure that I'm falling away from it, okay, not directly in. Okay, so I'm going to go 1, like so, underneath. All right, as I do that, forward. Okay, so I'm just going forward and absorbing that movement and turning. Okay, you do. So what we have is, as Uke is going like so, body wants to turn a little bit. But remember, you don't turn the head away. You keep walking straight forward. So it allows you to bend and then turn. Okay? So first off, I can do this pretty stationary. Allow Uke to do their own thing. Like so. One more time. Okay. Now I can add just a little bit of movement to that so it has the reality of an actual throw or being thrown into it, so I can turn into it like so. Turn. And you see you get the same effect. They're being turned over, so they're following that movement, at the same time allowing their balance to go through. Their body to go through and fall. Okay? Other exercise we can do is where they actually take hold of me and I can lead them into the throw this time. So it's like we take here and do the same thing. So they get the feeling of being led into a technique. Okay? And down. And down. And down. Okay? So that's the first basic fall. Yeah, and that one is much easier because you can just slide down and support yourself all the way through. Okay? Now this third variation of that fall, again, we can use the same method, but this time as they go through, they're going to turn and stretch into the fall. Right? Like so. So now this time they're going to use the Shiro Tashi Kaiten, where they just turn the body. Okay? So if you're a little more limber, you can turn into it like so. Once again, allowing them to go at their own rate. Yep. Okay, one more time. Okay, so the body again must turn, allowing the body to turn as they go through. Again, I can do the same thing as they go through and make a little bit more lead with it. So I can be more direct when I'm pointing down. So they get used to going through. Whoop, like so. And then you practice the same fall. So, and then as you get better with that, you can do it a little firmer. But again, still making sure, absorb, down. Absorb, down. Okay, as they go through. I can also do the same thing with the lead and practice the same fall. Okay? So those are different methods you can use to do this particular fall. All right? Now the last one, I'll demonstrate myself, is Shiro Tashi, the one where your feet go actually up in the air, the last one that we did. Now let me come from this direction first. Okay? Again, having the same feeling, but this time, little, like I said before, little support. Yeah, little support. And then like the last one, we're going to do exactly the same thing as this at the top half of the body, but now I'm going to allow the feet, okay, the feet to go up in the air. And then turn. When I'm finished, I'm looking back where I came from. Okay, let's go this way. Again, this is reference. So the idea is not to throw my head back. It's to leave my head there and then as it pivot around that. So my feet goes up as I go through. That's coming towards my face. Remember, that's doing so. So I'm responding to that. And through. Okay. Going forward. And going through. Again, you can put a little more reality with that, so you can get Uke to turn it as you reach, and then do the fall as if you're really being thrown into it. And same side. Getting that feeling as you go forward. Thank you. The falls themselves are in my opinion, I think they're safe. I developed them via injury because I used to have a bad knee at one point, and hitting the floor with those high falls all the time was causing them to, to be, was pretty painful at that time, and so I was looking for ways of being able to still take my falls and still be able to enjoy my practice with the same intensity, but without the clash all the time, and that's how it basically developed. It came from that. Obviously, I watched other people take Ukemi. I watch how the people take Ukemi, like the Hambu Dojo, and I watch the videos, and I watch all the different ukes there that take Ukemi for Doshu, Waka Sensei. So there's all the, Dojo Cho. I see all these little things, and I say, everything's nice, everything's round, it's not, they don't have that, tense type of positioning. And it just came from watching that and then finding my own method of doing it. So for me, it's safe because everything is round. It's not something that's done in a, like I said, in a tense manner. It's all stemmed off a front roll. It all comes from that basic route, forward and back roll. And then it's just broadened out from that, but still keep the intention of a roll in my mind. So I'm protecting my joints, protecting my elbows, shoulders, and so on.